Maria. Keep 2022 to order. First item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Tom, it looks like we have some.
You have two supplements for the consent agenda, and then you have items 5G through 5K for the consent agenda being added.
Mr. Attorney, do we have to read those out, or is it just
No.
Just the added ones?
Just added, no, you don't have to read all.
Okay.
And I should point out that in 5G, in the supplemental packet, it says that the Hammond Road neighborhood meeting is going to be in 2021, in February of 2021, and both the Gill Fill-In improvements and the Township Parkway meetings are going to be January 18th of 2023.
Any other changes?
No.
All right, does the board have anything, or does the board wish to pull any of these off?
No.
All right, hearing none, I'd look for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I will move to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Do I have a second?
Are you moving to approve only the consent agenda or the whole agenda? We didn't approve the original agenda.
That's right, we kind of skipped down a few lines
Yeah, you didn't adopt a motion approving your agenda.
in the payment of the bills and so on. But
Tell you what, you hold,
did I-
you missed it, you know.
we just went right into consent.
Yeah, never mind.
So I withdraw my motion.
All right, sorry about that. Item 3 is approval of payment of the bills.
Well, we haven't approved the agenda yet.
I thought we did.
No, we did not.
No.
I'll move to approve.
Boy, I want this
the-
meeting over and hurry, don't I?
I'll move to approve the updated agenda, including adding other consent agenda items and clarifications.
Second.
All right, motion's made, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, now I need a motion to approve payment of the bills.
I'll move to approve payment of the bills.
Second.
Motion's made, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, then I need a motion to approve the minutes from December 5th, 2022.
I'll move to approve the minutes of the December 5th, 2022 meeting.
Second.
Motion's made, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Now I can need a motion for a consent agenda.
So now I will move to approve the consent agenda as amended.
All right, do I have a second on that?
I'll second that.
All right, motion's made, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, moving on. Item 6, old business, we have none. Public hearing, we have none, so we'll move into new business. This brings us to the finance officer's items. First one is resolution adoption of the amount to be raised by property taxation for the year 2023. Tom, you gonna take that?
Yes, I will. On December 6th, we held our annual special town budget meeting. At that meeting, we presented the property tax levy and the proposed 2023 budget. And at that meeting, the residents voted to approve a 2023 property tax levy of $5,416,271 and 47 cents. Basically, with that levy, residents would see anywhere from $5.33 a month to $10.33 a month increase in their township share of the property taxes, and that's on homes valued between just over $234,000 and just under $469,000. So the action tonight is the approval of the resolution adopting the 2023 property tax levy at $5,416,271 and 47 cents.
All right, board have any questions?
No.
Obviously, we've been through this a number of times. So I need a motion to adopt the resolution.
I'll move to adopt the resolution adopting the amounts to be raised by property taxation for the year 2023.
Second.
Motion's made, second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, next one, Tom, is the capital improvement plan.
Yes. Again, the board has reviewed the 10-year capital improvement plan at different meetings. The projects that are listed as 2023 projects are included in the 2023 budget. However, they still need to, those purchases or projects still need to go through the normal town board approval process before they can be purchased. And then everything that is listed in 2024 through 2032 are kind of more placeholders, the things that we think we're going to need in those years and what they will cost. So tonight, we're asking you to adopt the 2023 through 2032 capital improvement plan. And in your packet is a summary of those projects.
Question?
We didn't discuss this at the most recent executive meeting. I think the last time was back in November. Have there been any changes to what we reviewed in November?
No, there has not.
Okay, that was my question.
Steve?
No, I have no other questions.
I just got the one, Tom, the County Road H2 trail development. We talked about that. That was going to be a fund grant, I think, Larry?
Yes, we are looking at a grant application for the active transportation plan, but that wouldn't be for 2023. It'd be for 2024, 2025.
Be later.
But we've got it under 2023. There's a $300,000 line item for,
Yeah, Dale and I have talked, and we're thinking that in the future, we're going to change all these trails that are along county roads to just a county road trail line item, because we pretty much do these when the county redoes the road. However, county road, this particular one that you're talking about, we are going to try to get some grant funds for it. So we need to show that it's kind of in our works and part of our plan, and we have our share of the funding for it. So we didn't find that out until just recently, so we didn't change the plan.
oh, this will be just pushed back a year?
Yes, it'll be pushed back a
Will
year.
that be the same with Rutherford Park? Because I thought that one stalled out too.
Yeah, probably. I mean, we keep putting these things in there, and they keep getting pushed. Because, like I say, we typically have done them when the county redoes the road, and a lot of times they don't do the roads as we think they're gonna. So again, I mean, in 2024 we have Centerville Road, but it's again kind of with the county reconstructing Centerville Road, so that one could get pushed too.
But having these in your plan, it helps support the grant applications we're making.
Okay.
The grant application, though, also included the Otter Lake Road
Yep.
versus the H2 road, I believe, right? Or both? Or just one?
It'd be two different grant applications.
Okay, two different grant applications. Okay.
Oh, we didn't have anything budgeted for that one though, did we? The Otter Lake Road Trail? I didn't see it, I guess. Maybe I missed it.
I'd have to look at what the description is for the County Road H2 trail development, see if it's part of that or
I
not.
thought the H2 trail was like 330,000, so that would gobble that whole thing up.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess that would just be a clarification then. Any other items? Anything, Steve?
Nope. So I'll make a motion to adopt or approve the 2023-2032 capital improvement plan as submitted by the finance officer.
Second.
Motion made, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed. All right, the next one is the operating budget for the year 2023.
Yeah, again, this was presented at the December 6th meeting, and the residents did recommend a adoption of the, should say 2023 general fund budget of $5,654,256. Again, that'll fund all of our operations, including our some of our equipment purchases and our seal coating project and all of our operations.
All right, board, have any questions on this one? No. Again, we been over these so many times. It's all right. Hearing none, I need a motion for adopting the resolution.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution adopting the operating budget for the year 2023.
Second?
All right, motion's made. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, that motion carries. And the next one is transfer of certain funds to the town.
Yeah. Every year, as part of our budget, we do have money being moved from one fund to the other. In order to do that, we do need the town board to pass a resolution. In your packet is a listing of all those. There were 7 different transfers, 6 of which were included in our 2022 budget. And then the last one is a transfer from the water fund of the ARPA funds or the COVID funds related to water and sewer costs related to the 2021 and 2022 road project. In total, the operating transfers total $1,006,000 or $6,406. And the listing is on page 116 of your packet, and then the resolution is attached as follows. And again, this is kind of year-end housekeeping that we have to have done.
Tom, was the COVID money, was that put in the general fund originally?
Most of it was put into the water fund because that's where we thought we'd be spending the money from. And then any money that we do spend out of the general fund, we would need a transfer from the water fund into the general fund in the future.
All right, board, have any questions?
Just out of curiosity, I noticed we're still making transfers into the 2019 and 2020 improvement bonds. I'm assuming that's going to happen every year until those bonds are paid off in X number of years.
They will continue to go on for the next, for 7 to 8, 9 years. And
So the list is just going to get longer.
if we keep issuing bonds for these road projects, yes.
Okay, that was my question.
Steve? All right, hearing no further discussion, I need a motion on the resolution.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution approving transfer of certain funds for the town of White Bear.
Motion's made in second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries. Then moving on, item 8E is the fund balance classifications.
Again, this is kind of year-end housekeeping, but a number of funds have some fund balances that are reserves that are designated or classified for certain items. In the general fund, we have money for public safety that is an assigned classification. For 2022, that amount will be $5,301.72. In the past, those funds have been used. They are collected from false alarms, and then they are used for either in the past they've been used for the school carnival or for something at Township Day, giving away, promoting public safety at Township Day. Within the park acquisition, a number of years ago, the town was given money for development of the Rutherford Park. Those were restricted by the donor, and we did use some of the funds, but there still remains $6,385.36 of those, so we're restricting those. In the EDA fund, the EDA holds land that they will resell, hopefully, in the future. These are considered non-spendable fund balance. and the value of the land currently sits at $1,437,510.81. And then in the stormwater fund, a number of years ago, we assigned some fund balance to go towards the future Stillwater drainage project whenever the county redoes Stillwater Street to improve drainage along that stretch. And the money that's being set aside for that is $250,000. And so with that, I'll take either any questions or you're asked to approve those fund balance classifications.
Those classifications change at all? I mean, from the, 1, 2, 5 that we have? Do we ever add or delete any of those?
We haven't recently. The only one that's really changed over the years is the public safety assigned amount because of the amount of false alarms coming in or the amount of expenditures that they've had. Again, we haven't changed them recently. I mean, we could in the future as if we do have excess reserves.
What?
Or
Yeah.
yeah.
What?
Or if we ever do some of these, right now the township is talking about, or we're basically on our way to selling a piece of property on Township Parkway. That's part of that land held for resale, so that amount for next year will hopefully go down.
You mean White Bear Parkway?
Or White Bear Parkway, I'm sorry.
All right, Steve?
I have no questions.
Scott?
The Stillwater Street drainage specifically, that dollar amount has not changed in quite a while. Do you simply include it here to say, hey, it's still sitting there?
Basically, it's still sitting there.
Okay, because it's not like we added to it this year.
Nope.
Okay, and the same thing with the land held for resale. It's not like suddenly we included that this year. It's been there.
It's been there. Same with Rutherford Park.
Okay.
The public safety's been there, but the amount has changed.
Okay, those were my questions. Thanks.
All right, hearing no further discussion, I need a motion for the fund balance classifications.
I'll make a motion to approve the fund balance classifications.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. Item 8F is the 2023 utility rates.
Yes, the Utility Commission met 2-3 times to discuss utility rates. The goal of our utility rates is to pay 100% of the operating cost of the system and then 75% of depreciation of the system assets. We try to include the items that are in the 10-year capital improvement plan for cash flow purposes. And based on current fund projections, the Utility Commission is recommending that for water, the residential base rate be increased from $42.50 to $43.50. On our tiered rates, they're recommending that they all remain at current 22 levels. However, Tier 3, they are recommending we change from 20,000 to 32,000 down to 20,000 to 30,000, but again, leave it at the $3.80 that it currently is. And then if we change that tier, Tier 4, instead of being at 32,000, starting at 32,000 and up, would start at 30,000 and up. But again, it would remain at the $6.65 that it currently is. Likewise, on the commercial rates, they're recommending that the base rate increase from the $42.50 to the $43.50, and then again, the tiered rates stay the same with the change in Tier 4, 3 and 4 again. And then for the irrigation rates, for residential irrigation, which is mainly the homeowners associations would increase from $6.65 per thousand to $6.75, and then the commercial irrigation would increase from $6.75 to $7. On the sewer rates, because of the funding that's available in that fund currently and is needed for projected, they're recommending that both the base rates for residential and commercial stay the same at $38 for residential and $34 for commercial. And then on the volume rate, that they stay the same as the 2022 rate at $5.75 per thousand gallons for residential and $14.75 for commercial. We do have a number of sewer-only accounts that are on well water. Those rates have not been increased for quite a while, and they're recommending that we increase the sewer-only accounts from the $55 flat rate to $70 flat rate, which is equivalent to basically what our average winter use is on metered sewer. So they would be paying a similar amount. And then finally, the stormwater rates, because there's a number of projects down the road that we need to fund. They're recommending, again, that rate be increased from $23.50 to $24, so an increase of 50 cents per quarter. With these rate increases, depending on the amount of water used, people would see about $1.50 to $7.20 per quarter increase in their 2023 utility bill. And so with that, and we would put these rates in effect with the January, February, March billing cycle, which would go out at the beginning of April. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Well, Scott, as liaison to Utility Commission, you want to maybe just give us a kind of a recap of what we're accomplishing with this?
Yeah, it's typically a very, I like to use the word robust conversation, and Tom has had to go back many times in the past to revise the rates to meet the commission's questions. This year, there was not quite as much of that. I think it was a much more just a review of what they were and an understanding. There are some balances being built up in the different funds, the water, the sanitary sewer, the stormwater, in anticipation of future projects that are coming down the road, and that was included in the 10-year CIP. So it's taking a good look, a hard look, and that's why we're seeing the base rate go up. It's taking a hard look at our infrastructure, making sure that we're covering the costs and the expected construction for future enhancements that we have to make in order to keep these things operational. At the same time, we're being mindful of the continued emphasis on water conservation. That's why you saw a little bit of an adjustment in the tiers. So now we have 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and above 40,000 gallons. And those that use more water are going to be paying more for water. The rates for each classification have not changed this time, but again, just the size of the tiers. So overall, it's, again, I think it was a very, I won't say quick conversation, but compared to what it's been in the past, I think it went through pretty straightforwardly.
And part of that, obviously, is to help stimulate conservation.
Yes.
I mean, if you're going to use more, you're going to pay more, but there comes a point where we need to, especially because of the White Bear Lake lawsuit still in effect, we need to show that we're doing our very best to get people to conserve.
This is one way to do that. People are using a resource that is, it's a valued resource. They have to pay for that use. But some of the topics that the Utility Commission will be taking a much harder look at is enforcement of some of the requirements we have. Folks that are watering on days they shouldn't. And maybe we need to take a look at the times that are available. We've had the same 6 to 10 twice a day, every other day for I don't know how long, 20, 30 years. And do we need to take a look at those days, those times, the availability? And then what do we do if people are watering outside of hours? The past few years, it's been very, very dry come August, and people like to see a green lawn. They don't want to hear the crunch when they walk on it. But we have to be mindful, like you said, the fallout from the litigation, the lake level litigation, and just the overall increased requests from other government entities that we manage this resource.
Well, no, I think Scott covered it very well. It is a valued resource that we have to be mindful of and protect as best we can and cover our costs. At some point, you cut down usage, but you still got fixed costs, and we always got to be mindful of the fixed costs that come along. One comment, the last paragraph said the town needs to approve the new rate before December, but that before the end of November or end of December, is that what you was really
Yes.
meant? Okay. All right. No, I'm good.
All right, if there's no other further comments or questions, I would look for a motion.
I will move based on Utility Commission and staff review and recommendation to approve the 2023 utility rates.
A second?
I'll second that.
Motion made and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. All right. Item G, the resolution supporting efforts to secure funding from the Minnesota Department of Transportation.
This is a bad one on me. You actually approved this as part of your consent agenda. It was item 5K on the supplement.
Which I didn't see until late.
So I said all that stuff and I didn't need to.
I don't think so, Tom. 5K on the addendum is a conditional use permit request.
Oh, yeah. It's 5I. I'm sorry, 5I.
Minnesota Department of Transportation Infrastructure.
Well, that's something you were going to take, weren't you there?
No, that was,
I was.
Oh, well.
All right, well,
We did speak about this one at the executive meeting last week, so
wasn't it a case where they needed a resolution instead of
we do need
a,
a resolution.
there was a resolution in the original package, as I remember, when I reviewed it. I think it was,
I'm prepared to go over this with you if you'd like. Otherwise, I think we did cover it at the exec meeting.
And in the,
In the consent.
go ahead. No, you're thinking along the same lines.
Well, is there something we should just maybe hit a highlight so residents
Sure.
understand what it is?
So, in partnership with Ramsey County and the school district, we're looking at extending trail along Otter Lake Road from Hickory Trail up to Meadowview Drive. And in order to fund this, we are looking at a grant from MnDOT through the Active Transportation Funding. And we had submitted a letter of interest a few months back, and MnDOT responded saying our project is eligible and a good candidate. So we're looking at it now fully applying for that funding for that trail improvement project.
Well, I'm surprised because I think what's available, 3.4 million or something the number was. So, and what we're looking at is going to take what, how much in total for the both of them?
Yeah, the total project cost is $400,000. They fund 50% of the construction cost of the project, so that would be roughly $150,000, and then the rest would be split by Ramsey County and White Bear Township. Ramsey County is supportive of this project and in dedicating half of the remaining cost.
And if I remember right, Tom, park acquisition funds could take some of that?
yes, if it's a brand-new trail, then our park acquisition fund can pay for those improvements. If it's a trail improvement of an existing trail, then it would have to come out of the park improvement fund.
And you said they both come out of the Park Improvement Fund?
No, any new trail
Oh, acquisition, I'm sorry.
would come out of park acquisition.
Gotcha. Sorry.
And this is not an active trail. It ended, and this is a
Right.
new, so this would be an acquisition
Yes.
item. Were there some questions, Larry, on the cost as far as the county not wanting to pay for some of the behind-the-scenes costs as this thing
No,
goes
that's
on?
the application through MnDOT through the active transportation.
Oh,
They,
okay.
they only fund the construction costs, not the indirect costs.
MnDOT does.
For MnDOT does. So they won't pay for the surveying. And
Has the county committed to funding the other part of this to get to that point?
the half of the remaining costs.
Okay. Okay.
All right, any other questions? Nope. Seeing as though we already did it under consent, we don't need a motion on that?
Correct.
We
All
already
right,
passed
so that completes our scheduled agenda items. Item 10 is open time. I believe we have a guest who would like to speak. If you just want to come up to the podium and just state your name and address.
Before the time, quicker than I thought. So, my name is Lisa Love, and I'm addressed at 2649 Richard Drive in the Township. And because I am a person who tries to pre-plan accordingly, and having received notice, somewhat a generic notice regarding the November 1st deadline for storage of campers or trailers and things of that nature, I called the person of contact who, upon receiving a second letter, left another message, spoke with that person today, Mike Johnson, and he kind of was able to direct me here in a roundabout conversation. I haven't received a violation notice. However, I do own a 23-foot motor home that is in use as my vehicle, and I did drive it up from the warmer climate earlier this summer, and I'm planning on being here and using this vehicle as my transportation on an active and regular basis. And so my question of clarification is, I can't realistically find a way to park it in the side yard as I'm not storing it, and then plow to get to my driveway to get access in and out. I have close to 60 feet of driveway. And again, the second letter, and I did bring them, there was a reference to a nuisance of like older or junk vehicle, and this is active and registered, licensed. I'm a legitimate person insofar as, you know, taking care of all those kind of things. So up to date and current on all my requirements, license intact, that sort of thing, and insured. That being said, through a long waiting period, I was able to acquire a very similar in size motor vehicle, motorhome. Had some supply chain issues, just finished receiving the title work on that. So it is a little odd because I have both of these, which I do use both, and the new one was acquired because we knew we would be waiting until available, and specifically to meet the needs of pre-planning accordingly to best serve family members and folks that are becoming less ambulatory. And so that's why, rather than a full-size van, I've been driving this type of make since 2004 and very comfortable with it. Anyway, I'm feeling like I'm rambling, but I haven't received an actual violation, but I wanted to clarify this because I do want to be a community person in good standing and deal with this pre-holiday, and I will be using to go to the southern warmer climate closer to February. So again, not trying to store my vehicles or park them. I'm not using them for camping. I am residing in my home, but I am using both of the vehicles at this time for active daily transportation. And I can't drive two at one time, but both are being driven for a variety of reasons that are not, just to clarify, they're not being used for activities relating to commercial business. It's personal business. I mean, personal use.
Lisa,
Yes.
both of them have RV plates on it.
Both of them are licensed and plated. The one that just got titled right here in Minnesota has RV before the lettering. Yes.
So both of them are?
And the other one hails out of Arizona. That was my 2004. It's 114,000 miles. It's not, by any means junk. And this newer one, simply put, it has a door access called a cargo door in the back. More convenient for, and also tethers, so people that are becoming, wheelchair bound can be transported safely. I'm not running a business doing this. It's family members, and one with Lou Gehrig's disease, and the other just failing in older age. So a lot going on, but again,
Have you seen?
just trying to make this, I'm staying through the holidays and have family here and family in Wisconsin, and I will be using these to go to and from White Bear, but not to be camping.
Have you seen the ordinance that Mike Johnson's shown you?
I looked everything up, yes, I did. And that's why I even looked up what camping is, and campers, camping buses, and again.
Well, we'll need you to stay in front of the podium, though, so the audience can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah, we cast.
Simulcast, okay.
Okay.
The silent audience.
Okay. Yes, I did look those up and actually took time to read them, and that's where I was, wanted to make it clear, this is not a old vehicle that's not in use. They're not being stored. I'm not using the availability of the plumbing or the cooktop. That's not what my needs are. I'm using it I'm driving in it. Like, this is my truck, van.
Well,
They're not, yeah, I'm sorry.
no, the reason I asked, in fact, I was just going to pull it up here. On our exec meeting, and it's going to take a while to find it, our building inspector goes around the whole township community, and he looks for that one code violation. And we've sent out, here it is. I'm not even going to try to count them, but there were a number of, I'm looking at probably over 100 people who were storing motorhomes in their driveway. And he sends out notices. You'll get 2, and then if the situation isn't corrected, then he'll send out an abatement order, which is a violation.
Right.
And I think out of the full number, what did he say? We only have 8 or 6. We're still working with people to get this resolved. So what happens is they all have stories, and I understand your circumstances. The problem is if we allow for one, then it's tough for those other 6 or 8 that we're trying to deal with on how we respond to those. But you have the right to dispute this. I don't know, Chad, if you want to explain the abatement process.
Okay, if you cite it administratively, you have the right for administrative hearing. That'd be if you're an administrative hearing officer, and they can decide whether or not you're actually violating the ordinance or not. So I guess what I'm saying is, you have the right to be heard.
Yeah, no, I understand, and I appreciate the time that you're hearing me out on this now, and it is a little premature because we are running into the holidays, and I have family flying in, and I just wanted to, again, be one step ahead of not being the person that's getting a violation because I didn't choose to read the notice. And I did, and I have gotten the one dated December 9th, and then the second one, and did just this morning end up getting the return call from Mike Johnson. And appreciated his time he spent with me in regards to the appeal, but he would have to generate the actual violation notice so then I could appeal formally.
That's right.
And again, on what the citing was that caught my attention on it was under nuisance of your ordinance number 16, section 4-4.15. That particular wording had no application whatsoever to, in this one that was more specific in regards after the inspection, determined me that my vehicle was found in violation of this ordinance number 16.
And that probably gets back to the ordinance of the 7-6.2B, which is refers right directly to RVs. I have to admit, this is probably the first I've ever heard of anybody using an RV for a daily driver.
I am that person, and I am an outdoors person, but I do prefer to shelter in my home, and I am not hosting other people in these units. It is me. It's
And that
me and
is
a dog.
that is part of the reason for ordinances, because sometimes people do abuse that situation.
Yes,
No.
I can observe things that occur. I'm well aware, and that's why I wanted to come here and take this opportunity tonight, because I would like to do my best to stay on top of the meaning of Christmas and the family that I do have in and around this area, and they're, all over the place, and I've always been the person that, gets them all out to the ski hill or the tubing hill, which my vehicle has lent itself for years and years and years.
Mr. Chair, can I ask a couple of questions? You own any vehicles smaller than this?
I do own a truck that has leaf spring issues and quite expensive. And in order to accommodate some of the other needs, I'm financed to the hilt on this newer acquisition. And the leaf springs are concerning me, and I also feel much safer in my vehicle. And mind you, even driving over here tonight, I was on the slow back roads. I'm not gunning it, and don't try to go out in the weather that's not conducive.
Where is that pickup?
I have that stored I put that in the garage. It is getting very cold, and the North Loop forecast tells me it's just going to continue on, and I think it's beautiful, frankly. So I'm going to do my best to keep my heat on and live inside, but I do have to get around, and I
Understand.
I am driving these, and that's my point. I am driving these, and yes, I have a pickup, but
I have another
doesn't
question.
seat
I have another
four
question.
people.
I have another question I want to ask. The one has a ramp that. Hang on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I understand.
This
I
is
understand.
kinda like new to me.
It's a little disconcerting. I appreciate that.
put my glasses
so it
on.
has a ramp that allows you to basically take, you can drop the ramp, roll a wheelchair onto it, raise it, and bring those people into the vehicle.
It doesn't have the Tommy lift. It doesn't have the ramp. It has the door, and it has the cargo space. It's a Murphy bed that actually flips up, but everything in there is tethered and cleated for things, wheelchairs, for example. It's designed to be able to cleat things down safely It's got that space, so it's not my bedroom, so to speak.
Right, but, so if you have a wheel relative, roll them into this and secure it.
You can get them in and their wheelchair in, and then they can sit in their own wheelchair.
Right,
Yes,
and you secure the wheelchair.
you can secure the wheelchair along with the brakes and, they're seat belted and the whole strapping. I mean, there's,
No, don't worry.
I know, it's,
No, I think I understand.
okay.
You did a good job of explaining it. I think I understand what's going on. I
don't sometimes, but thank you.
I think I understand. Okay, thanks. Thank you. That's all I wanted.
All right, Steve, any questions, comments?
My question, I wasn't quite clear on your, and I don't have pictures of your property, but do you or do you not have room to go off to the side of your garage, off the driveway for this, and take care of this situation?
I have full mature trees, western cedars and blue spruce, 35 years old, and would not be able to safely get in and then get out without, I'd have to create a situation where I'm plowing, and the whole point is I can step out on my driveway safely, I shovel it, and get access to the front door, me as, just as driver, rather than, sometimes you come home and, I don't really want to slip and fall. And that being said, too, I'm not concreted or paved or cobbled or sanded, or I'm grass.
Sure. Many people have that same situation, but if the ground is frozen and it's wintertime and to keep their vehicle and meet the right of the ordinance, they just move to the side, plow it enough to get their vehicles in, and it's.
But if I understand, and I do have a little background in property lines and setbacks and so on and so forth, I would have to be behind my garage. I couldn't be on the side yard in front of the garage.
I think the way the ordinance reads, you have to be at least to the side of the garage.
Like parallel to the garage, which, no, to answer your question, without some, and also white pines, without tree removal, no, I wouldn't have any accessibility to drive in and out of there on a regular basis, 2 or 3 times a day.
Our building inspector had mentioned something, I don't know where I saw it, that he thought you had room to park one next to the garage.
Well, at the very least, I could pull in at an angle and still be half on my actual driveway, but that's where I was having a little bit of problem with what would the point of that be. And it's not if I had all the neighbors saying, oh, somehow this is just like we don't like the looks of it, but if anything, I think that I'm trying to I work hard, and I'm not trying to trash my property or my neighbor's property's values. I'm not part of the White Bear Beach Estates with their CC&Rs I built in '87 before there was even a road. So that being said, those trees that are there, I planted, so I wasn't really trying to cut them down to pull in.
In your driveway, your 60-foot driveway, you have.
It's about 60.
Okay, let's just for sake of conversation say 60. You have both of these 23-foot RVs on there.
I pulled them both in front of the garage.
So they're side by side.
They're side by side.
Okay.
And then there's plenty of room for another 4 cars to park behind them if need be, or I had that many people coming over at one time.
Okay.
It's only a 2-car garage, so, but I did have the driveway back in the day, and the way I designed the, call it the front entry with and it's concrete with the apron and stuff, so I'm extended beyond just the garage door opening, the 16.
So as far as the side of the garage, though, just because I'm having trouble visualizing it, the problem is you have to trim up the branches on the tree so they aren't rubbing on the, or is it they're too close that you can't fit in between the building and the trees?
Well, yes, I wouldn't be, if I can maneuver it, and I did some pruning, which,
But that's only going to resolve one vehicle.
but, and that being said, then and put it this way, I am driving out of here, whether it's, and I can't give you a specific time frame because I have my college child flying out mid-January to return to Arizona, where he's living in the dorms and attending university. So I will be driving out of here. But again, I'm not on a specific date, but I just have told most of my family, like I'm hoping to, like everyone else does, February.
Do you plan on keeping both of these RVs?
I plan on keeping both of them, but not, one, I'm driving down to Arizona, and then my husband, more likely than not, will come and drive the other one during this course of time. So if I'm leaving in February, the older one, I then can park to the side, because when I come back up, I will be flying. I'll be returning in February via airline.
Got anything?
So I just,
Oh, is that the?
I want to be in compliance and not be an, person that's trying to create the wave, but
All right, well, what's going to happen next, I'm sure you'll probably be getting an abatement order from Mike Johnson. Because we have to follow what the ordinance says. And then from there, I think staff can direct you on where it'll go next.
okay. But I do, and on the legal side of things, though, the one statement, they're not junk vehicles, and that's what was cited.
Well, I understand that.
Okay.
Don't worry, that's
And
not
on the other
that's
one,
not the real
they're
issue
not
here.
being stored. I completely understand the ordinance. I mean, everyone's got their boats and their things that they're tucking away. I get that. But these are in use. This is not stored.
Well,
So there's such a difference. Like, I'm being prohibited from using my own driveway for the safety of the community or myself. Understand what it is that I'm reading. I know, it's just black and white.
I wouldn't be quite. I can't quite agree with the last point here. But I understand your kind of unique situation
Yeah.
here. I think here's what's going to happen. Here's my suggestion to the board: is that we have to follow through the procedure. Mike will issue after issue an abatement order. My recommendation, my strong recommendation, is that you take advantage of your right to appeal any abatement and have a hearing. Okay.
What if I don't know, well, I did kind of try to ask him, like, how quickly the appeal would be, and then that's just it. Like, I do pre-plan accordingly, and I wouldn't want to be all of a sudden, oh, I'm scheduled for an appeal, but everyone else is ready to go. Like, no, I'm trying not to have things get so messy.
Understand. Understand. The township's not trying to penalize you.
No,
Not
I
trying to make your
understand that.
But it does have to enforce its ordinances, and you do have a right to be heard.
Yeah,
And that right is flexible, all right?
Yeah.
There is a hearing officer that'll handle that. So, I mean,
okay, well,
I
that's
think
just
you're
that I don't
assuming
know
the
the
worst
process.
case. You're assuming the worst case right now, and don't. I mean, but
What kind of timeline will we be talking?
I think, if I remember correctly, and I'm going from memory here, that once the abatement is issued, I think the appeal has to be filed within 10 days. It's a week or 10 days. After that point, then the hearing officer is going to schedule a hearing. That, I think, might be 14 days. But again, like any kind of hearing,
Okay.
it has to be, it's not going to.
Is there
It's
a
gonna be- hang on,
temporary
hang on,
use
hang on, hang on,
permit
hang
or
on, hang on.
something
No,
that I
no,
could just apply
no,
for so it
no,
doesn't waste time on
no.
other people's
No, there isn't.
time value?
No, there isn't.
Okay.
You're good.
I mean,
You're gonna. I know.
Congratulations, you're unique, and we don't have anything to cover this one.
Well, and here's the problem: is you can't write an ordinance to cover every single possibility. Otherwise, we'd have an ordinance of a couple thousand pages.
really, it's not applicable
Well,
under the language.
Well, I'm not. See, the
I'm
non.
talking to an attorney. Be careful.
Here.
I understand that. I can read.
No, is it a vehicle? Is it a nuisance vehicle from the standpoint it's not registered, it's not drivable? No, it's not. That's clear. But it's still an RV, in which case you have the other ordinance you have to deal with, which is where you park it. Now, it sounds to me like what you basically, guys, you got a 23-foot car, possibly. I mean, that's your
It's
argument.
on a Suburban chassis.
Okay, but my point is, that's your argument, that it's really more of a car than it is an RV.
It is.
Okay,
But the RV plates kind of give it away.
that's the problem.
Well, I get the classification,
Yeah.
but again, you're referring to it as camper and camping, and when you look that up under
Well,
definition, I'm not using it for camping,
But
and
it's
I'm not
an
using.
recreational. Okay, look,
I'm not using it.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Now is not. This isn't the place to do it because, we don't have.
Okay, I
Here's
hear
the
you.
problem. Here's
All
the
right,
problem.
we'll
I'm
wait
not,
it
I'm
out.
not trying to cut you off, but
No, that's okay. I
Here's the
understand. The
situation.
time.
I mean, this kind of what you're describing is a kind of hearing that requires all some pictures and some evidence and probably even a viewing of the property.
I did bring all of that.
Well, but
Just pulled it off my
But Lisa,
property
also-
tax records.
Steve brought up a really good point. Because of the two vehicles, the combine on them is over 400 square feet. And this is 300. So
Yeah.
you're already over the allowed square
Well,
footage.
unless
so.
I did it at the bare minimum of 8 or less, and then did that way. I don't have to do,
8 by 23, you're saying?
And no matter
Yeah,
how
I
you do it,
just
you're going to
make
come
it.
over. You're going to go over that.
I just make it.
I mean, two of them is hard to kind of accept, to be honest with you. That doesn't mean, I understand.
I'll tell you, getting the new one after the wait, drove off of the dealer's lot and then had a defective 5x2 window shatter. Supply chain, dealing with Coachman, Freelander, and our, what's it called, River something, over 8 weeks. Otherwise, I would have probably been out of here and back and had to wait for a window to get shipped to me and then find the service dealer, which used to be Gander, now something else, to install. And that just occurred, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Well, I would recommend.
Saying, like,
I get it, but
on and on.
but right now I would
It
recommend.
is unique.
No,
It
no.
is not something I planned.
No, I get it, but this board can't make any decisions tonight on
I
this
get you.
anyway. So when you get the abatement order, then you
brought up
can
too.
you can go with staff, and the staff will direct you on the next process.
Well, I'll wait for the letter.
Yeah, really, I mean,
I
but
don't
here's the thing.
understand.
The reason we have the hearing officer and the whole appeal process is to deal with unique situations like yours. So it can be heard that the time it takes to actually properly understand what's going on, we have that time. And tonight's not the time. We can't do this in, 20 minutes.
But we do appreciate you coming and pleading your case.
I'll say this much. Thank you very much for hearing me out. And I did want to at least preemptively bring and shed some light to what is yet to come.
Sure.
And I'll wait for the letter. And there were some, the mail hopefully will get here on time. And if I'm still here to get the mail and I haven't left yet.
All right.
You've done a good job pleading your case.
All right. Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks.
Thank you all. And by the way, it was very interesting. And anyone can attend and listen to this. I find it very interesting.
Anytime, yeah.
Well, that's why we put it over the TV so you can tune in.
You can watch it on YouTube.
I think there's something better to watch, but
No, I mean, you understand you gotta.
To make sure I'm not the one that's being thought of as the
No.
township rule breaker, because I'm not that person.
And the fact you're here tonight shows you want to abide by the ordinances.
Well, that is kind of how I roll.
Yeah,
right.
good for you.
let's move on. I need a motion to receive agenda materials and supplements.
So moved?
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye, yes.
All opposed? And then I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned at 7:59.
We have to undo this.